Hey, hello, how are you? So this is not a tutorial, this is call it a blog at this point of learning Rust, and the project I was trying to implement was DMN rule execution, like in Camunda. So yeah, let me actually show you what I'm trying to build. Let me make myself smaller. All right, here I am. So in Camunda, there's a possibility to define a table of specific inputs and outputs of your rules. And these are actually effectively a specific language thing. It's called feel, friendly enough language. And it's possible basically to create some expressions. So you could write 8 plus 1 is less than equal than the guess count, for example. And it would result into whatever output on the line is appropriate. So you could have numbers or strings as inputs and things like that. So what I'm doing, I decided to do this thing in Markdown, right? So I would have the same variable definition, and I would say it's a string or a number. And here's my expression inside. So that's cool. And up until now, I was working on the actual expression inside. And as you probably saw, let me kill that. Okay. Up until now, I was trying to work with the most complicated case I would imagine for myself is actually, executing some random evaluation of a thing. 100 is less than this entire thing, and my test worked. So I was able to parse the thing, and I would know that there's a variable D, variable AA, or whatever. So this is fine. And actually, with this, I was almost happy to continue and start evaluating the thing with a stack, right? This is a stack representation as a postfix version. So yeah, I would be able to execute it in a stack manner with a virtual machine thing. But since I added this test, I was actually interested in like testing my own testing skills. I am a JavaScript developer, so we don't test a lot in my recent projects, at least, because we deliver features. And yeah, a bunch of tests I created actually work fine. So this already knows that, well, this is failed, right? So I'm able to know that this expression is kind of tricky. There's closing parent and what the hell is going on. There's no closing parent for this. So this is working fine. With this, since my table thing is supposed to accept just a string, I should check if a season is equal to just a string. This is where I failed actually. My implementation of parsing didn't look at the last element that I was looking at. So it works fine if it's like deep in the function, but it's not working fine if it's the only thing in expression. So it actually resulted me into coming up with different approach how I parse my entire thing. So now I work with a token range. So basically, whenever I start reading a string or a variable or anything else, I start working with token range stuff. Let's look, for example, at consume spaces. Yeah, let's go to definition. Not spaces. Oh crap, where's my code skills? Hold on. Yeah, consume a string. So as you can see, I instantiate a range where I start operating, and I'm not creating a buffer of string anymore where I push constantly. I just create a range. I know for a fact that I'm starting somewhere, and inside I check if I'm already tracking, and eventually I would call a how's that thing called? Yeah, I would set the end when I encounter this. And of course, I am also checking if it's closed or not. If not, then I'm just throwing an error. And with my range thing, I'm able to propagate the information about where the fuck up happened, and it just bubbles up, and the entire parsing fails. So this is already cool. And I was able to do the same with operators. So this is not accepting a temporary string buffer. I immediately work with the range. I know where I should start. I know where I should end. Eventually, when I get the string slice from the range that I received, I'm able to see, all right, this stuff that I got is supposed to be one of these operands. If there's nothing, then well, then there's basically a fuck up. So technically, this unsupported operator, um, this should be a formatted thing. So since I already have it, I might as well and just create a format thing. Open up unsupported operator. I would give it a name. I would output my operator. Oh, yeah, the O. And yeah, I would probably move it into brackets. Not brackets, but quotes. Right. And I would say at a range started at. So at least my code is supposed to report where the error happened, and maybe eventually I will create a special function where I would actually get a slice of string with a highlighted like in here. Maybe I would create an error that would show like message like here. So this is cool. Did I mess up? Format, opening. Oh yeah, I need to close it too. Right. And let's see if it still compiles. Yeah, it still compiles. So yeah, this is another thing. So for numbers, I guess multiple dots at a number should not be considered an error. I would immediately just return the number, and yeah, I could just break out of the thing. I guess I can break from it. And since this is a new dot, so in this case, if I encountered the dot, I break out from reading a yeah, I would break out from reading a number, and the dot would come up as a next operand of some sort, and maybe it would fail. Actually, I didn't test this, but it would be nice if my testing cases still work. So yeah, since yeah, surprisingly it works. So let's see at the corresponding. So remember, this is a double dot case for a number. So if I had let's say 100.01, and then I would have another. This is not a number anymore. This is some freaking stuff. This is a number. This is not a number, right? So this would result in an error, and I guess it does result if I saved. Yeah, it's still working. So let's look at my number tests. So yeah, my hello test is working better now when it's the single one. There's a missing closing quote check, which also reports in fail. I'm checking if it's not okay. Too many dots. This is the case. It's not. It's not gonna work because yeah, it reads a 100, and then what is this? It's not even a number. It's not an operator. I don't support this in my very own feel language interpretation because my stuff is minimal. It's not supposed to be hard. Actually, I'm intrigued to see what kind of error it provides when my code now doesn't expect a dot as an operator. Let me print it out. Just to make it visible and distinguishable, and failed number. It's gonna give me a sort of result, and it's going to be error type. Unknown symbol at index. See, already there's some readability happening, right? It doesn't know what to do with this, which is nice. Actually, I'm a bit more proud of myself. At least we report some sort of error. So double numbering, double dot doesn't work for a number. So yeah, I had also a single variable error. So converting to range stuff with yeah, range tracking for my substrings is actually beneficial for me because I am able to report the normal message. And actually, my further plan is, let me go way up. Since I'm able to store information where the operand or whatever operator is inside. So I might as well slightly change my operands temporarily list to have information about the operand I receive. I'm able to combine the operand and the token range where the operand is, and further, when tokenizing is done, whoop, did I mess up? And later, when the tokenizing is done, I would be able to clear the range stuff from token range, and just return what I do expect, which is a clear variable or a operand enum. So this is it. Just like a cool Twitch person, the Primogen, said, you are as good developer as your tests are, or I'm paraphrasing, you should write simple tests for stuff that you know could fail, and the rest is just a technique. So I was able to expect proper behavior of just parsing, and I'm able to report what the hell happened at specific place. And the next thing would probably be trying and composing the outcoming variable. Oh, screw that stuff. The next thing would be actually adding to my stack the variable name here, season, guest count, and this as a result, like getting this as a result. So this would be added to postfix beginning. So my postfix stuff would push this thing in the beginning of my entire postfix thing. It would then push fall in the end of postfix stuff that I receive. No, wait, this is going to be in this thing already. Yeah, I would need to push equality. So let me actually write it down here. So whenever fall is executed and parsed, or goes through my lexer thing, I would have operand string fall as a first element. So this is the postfix of that stuff. Since I expect to have a variable season when I will try to execute my markdown stuff, this season stuff would be pre-pushed. It would be pre-pushed here, operand variable, lowercase, but whatever. And its name is season. And I would need to take into account that since I'm not providing an operator in the start, like in Camunda, so they have the ability to override equality, like a default equality operator with that stuff here in the beginning. So in my postfix rules, I would need to have operator token, I guess. This is what I have. Whatever. So this is going to be whatever, equality. And eventually, when my virtual machine would execute, eventually, I would scan my stuff. So this is a program at this point. This is a program representation. And my execution stack would have exec stack would first paste this because it goes like its index is 0, right? So it would have this, it would add this later on, then it encounters an operator since so operator, it encounters this, so it looks at the execution stack. All right, there's some memory here. Since I want to have a binary operation of equality, is going to pop 2 items because you need 2 items for a binary operation. So it deletes these and compares this. And in this example, the stuff that's inside the season, it might have a string fall inside there, right? So I would need to get a context extractor. So my variable would be replaced with an equivalent of operand string with another incoming value for a season. So for the test case, fall. So I get 2 false, equality works, and my execution stack becomes true. So this would mean that, okay, the result of this is true. Now it's able to execute this. This is operator number, guest count. I'm supposed to get a number, a guest count. I get 8. I get value 5, for example. These are not equal implicitly. So this entire row is false, and we go on and execute these sequentially. So this is a grand plan. So I'm at number 14, I guess, in the series, and only now I'm getting to the final description of what the fuck this thing is. All right, so let me undo whatever I did. This is it. This is it. So I'm almost able to start working on this stuff. Maybe I will do it behind the scenes. So I hope you liked the rambling, and cheers. And don't forget to write tests.